Annie Edson Taylor breaking barriers and barrels. Annie Edson Taylor was born on October 24, 1838 in Auburn, New York. Annie Edson Taylor was a teacher who struggled financially after her husband was killed in the Civil War. Annie then moved to Michigan and decided to retire. Many women in this time were occupied as teachers. It was difficult for these teachers to come upon money outside of work, but Annie Edson Taylor found a way. Annie searched for new ways to make money now that she was retired. She saw previous attempts to travel down Niagara Falls that were failures and decided to set out and try it for herself. So now Annie Edson Taylor has decided to go down Niagara Falls. So she gets on the phone with this barrel guy and she's like,
"Hey man, I need a barrel, like a top-notch barrel, something sturdy to go down Niagara Falls."
and he's like,
Excuse me, to go down Niagara Falls?
yeah, and she's like,
Yeah, that's right, to go down Niagara Falls.
and he's like,
Listen lady, I'm just a simple craftsman who enjoys a good pickle.
yeah, and she's like,
Yo, make me a pickle barrel. Stat.
so the craftsman picks out a pickle barrel and makes a custom barrel for Annie. It's padded and surrounded with iron for protection. So you must know how dangerous Niagara Falls really is. There are 3 falls, 2 with a lot of rocks at the bottom, and the other with, well, less rocks at the bottom. This one's called the Horseshoe Falls. Daredevils only go down the Horseshoe Falls. It's 167 feet tall. There have also been many deaths involving Niagara Falls. About 5,000 people have died from falling. 25% of those people were daredevils. Both barrels from previous daredevils show the extremity of the trip down Niagara Falls, but that did not stop Annie. So Annie shows up to Niagara Falls and stands in front of a small crowd with her barrel and her cat. And she's like,
Whoa, I'm about to go down Niagara Falls in this custom-made pickle barrel. I gotta test out the safety in this stuff.
Annie then throws her beloved cat into the barrel to test it out. The cat is sent down Niagara Falls. We actually don't know if the cat survived or not. So Annie recovers her barrel and she gets ready. She stands in front of people and announces something along the lines of,
Whoa, I'm really about to go down this waterfall. I can't believe I'm gonna be the first 40-year-old woman to go down this falls and survive. Woman power, let's go!
actually she was 63, but she liked to tell the press that she was 40. So she climbs into the barrel and gets pushed into the water. She tumbles down the falls and splashes at the bottom. The crowd of people rushed down to Annie and pulled her out of the water. She popped out of the barrel and her head was covered with blood. She starts talking to the people around her and she's like,
Oh, my head, my head. My head, oh my head.
Now you're about to experience what Annie Edson Taylor went through.
So then Annie spoke her famous 6 words, "Nobody ought to ever do that again." So then Annie got all this money from her story being published about her success. She then spent all of her money on detectives to look for the barrel. They eventually found it, but then Annie no longer had the money she wanted all along. Annie is then titled the Queen of Mist. And she dies in 1929 in Lockport, New York. On the grave, it says, Annie Edson Taylor, the first to ever go over the Horseshoe Falls in a barrel and live, October 4th, 1901. So Annie Edson Taylor went down in history for breaking barriers, for going down Niagara Falls in a barrel and surviving and being the first person to do so, and also, furthermore, creating the fine of $10,000 for anybody else who attempts that. So that's great. Thank you, Annie.
Ba-da-dum-dum-dum.